So I just want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today. I'm Donna Ziegler, the Executive Director of South Saskatchewan Community Foundation. I want to let you know that this session is going to be recorded for future use, excluding the questions and answers. Feel free to put your questions in the chat and we will ensure that we answer them, but we won't be recording them. So I want to begin by acknowledging our presence and our privilege really to work and live and learn on Treaty 4 and Treaty 6 territories, which is the original lands of the Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Ojibwe, Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota, and on the homeland of the Métis. Welcome to, I see some fund advisors, our board members and staff and new staff to come. To what we call our new donor learning series. Our staff, as you know, always tries to aim to improve donor relations and provide you with the information that you need to make the most impact with your donation. And what a way for us to kick off this series by offering a new opportunity for donors to be informed on the latest asks and the needs by charities right here in South Saskatchewan. The grants catalog is complementary to the online fund portal. The fund portal allows you to see your own fund balance, any letters from charities or information from SSCF, and allows you to do your regular granting 24/7. The grants catalog allows you to see what the new or emerging needs are right within your community, and allows you to support those choices that you care about right from your computer. So it also, the grants catalog provides key information on the latest asks for things like capital campaigns, larger scale fundraising, like a new building that might need help over time, special projects, an activity that's filling a gap that requires new funding, emergent needs, like the need during the pandemic, and lastly, needs of those who apply to our South Saskatchewan Vital Community Fund, of which we can't support. Before these requests go up on the site from charities, SSCF makes sure that the charities and activities are eligible. We aim to be your bridge to community, and the grants catalog will help keep you informed in a timely, transparent, and consistent manner. You'll note that there are dates that projects are uploaded from time and different time frames that they'll stay there. You'll always have the option to contact us if you need more information. But the purpose is really to provide you with an opportunity to be informed, as informed as us, on the needs within your community. And you get to choose which capital campaigns or special projects or emergent needs that you want to support. Today, you're going to hear from staff, you're going to hear from a fund holder, and you're going to hear from a charity who will give you their input on the grants catalog. Now I'm going to turn it over to our very valued staff member, Tiffany Caron, who is our expert on the grants catalog, and she will lead us through the next steps. Thanks, Tiffany.
Welcome to the SSCF Grant Catalog. The purpose of the SSCF Grant Catalog is to communicate capital campaigns, special projects, and emergent needs of eligible organizations within the South Saskatchewan community. While SSCF already acts as a bridge between donors and community needs, the Grant Catalog will help us do so in a timely, transparent, and consistent manner. To begin, you will need to log into your online fund portal. The link to the portal can be found on our website at sscf.ca. On our website, it is located at the top left corner of the screen. Clicking on this will take you to the login page for the fund portal. Once on the fund portal page, proceed to enter your login credentials and hit login to continue. Once you have logged in, you will notice the new Grant Catalog tab. Simply click on the tab to open and view the open grant catalogs. The grant catalogs for campaigns, special projects, and emergent need will be open from January 1st to December 1st of each year. These catalogs will be updated on a monthly basis. As for the South Saskatchewan Vital Community Fund catalog, This will only be open and available for a 2-week time period following the May 15th grant deadline. For 2022, this catalog will be open from June 15th to June 29th, 2022. I will now click on a grant catalog to view the active requests within. If you would like to donate to a request, click on the green donate button and you will be taken to the grant recommendation page. Scroll down to view the grant request amount and unfunded amount below. Below those fields is where you'll enter the amount you would like to grant. For campaigns, special projects, and emergent need, partial donations are accepted. But for the South Saskatchewan Vital Community Fund, we ask that if a donation is made, that it is to be the full request amount, which is $5,000 maximum. Next, you can choose to make the donation in memory, in honor, or on behalf of a loved one or friend. The blank field to the right of the dropdown is where you can add any donation notes for SSCF. If you choose to make a donation on behalf of another person and would like them to be notified, please populate their name, address, city, province, and postal code below. If not, you're welcome to leave the fields blank and click Review. Review your donation details and click Submit if no changes are required. You can also click Edit if your donation requires some edits. Once the donation is submitted, you can continue within your Fund Advisor portal. All right, I don't have any speaking notes prepared, but does anyone have any questions about the video? If not, then I think we'll turn it over to Karen.
Thank you, Tiffany. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Tiffany, thank you so much for preparing the video and also for your excellent work in designing, testing, and implementing the grants catalog. We're really excited to have this happen. So hello, for those of you on the Zoom that don't know me, I'm Karen Henders. I'm the Director of Community and Grant Stewardship here at the Foundation. And today I'm just really delighted to introduce Jim Tompkins to you. He is a former SSCF board member, a current finance committee member, and a fund advisor who helped us test the grants catalog. Jim has offered to share his perspective on the value of the catalog, as well as the value of the South Saskatchewan Vital Community Fund. I know Jim also enjoys using the online fund portal, so I suspect we'll also hear him speak to that. Jim, to you, please.
Having trouble getting the mute off. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, no, as you said, I'm certainly a fan of the fund portal. My wife and I set up a fund some years ago now, and of course, like everybody else at the time, if we wanted to make a recommendation of a grant, we would send an email, or then later on came the form that SSCF uses to for fund advisors to submit grant requests. But when the fund portal came along, I thought this was a great thing, and I think it's especially useful for people like Lynn and me, because we tend to give to the same charities every year, and so the fund portal makes that really easy. You just saw the basic process of signing in, but instead of going to the grant catalog, you go to the fund, and the list of all the things you've ever given to are there. You just pick one up, put the number in, and submit it just in the same way you would for the grant catalog. But there have been times in the past when there's been some kind of a time-sensitive request that's come forward. And typically what's happened is that the executive director or someone in the office will call some donors and say, you know, would you be interested in donating to this or that fund? And I think the nice thing about the grant catalog is that it's there 24/7, the same kind of urgent requests and others, as Tiffany just pointed out. So I think it's the grant catalog will really enhance the value of the fund portal that's been up for a couple of years now. And while I haven't actually used the grant catalog, I've certainly looked at it and played around with it pretty much in the same way as what you just saw with Tiffany's presentation. No, the nice thing too is that I know that some donors prefer to speak to the staff about what's coming up, what's important, where the needs are in Southern Saskatchewan right now, rather than tending to support the same charities every year. And you don't have to use the fund portal or the grant catalog. It's they're there if you want to use them, but you can always talk to the staff or send in requests by email or using the form. But as I say, I think the grant, from where I sit, as someone who likes doing stuff online, I think this is an easy to use enhancement of the fund portal, and I think it's just an innovative and welcome addition to the various ways that donors can recommend grants. So that's pretty much what I was going to say, Karen.
Thank you, Jim, and we appreciate that. It's great to hear your perspective as a fund advisor. And also I want to thank you for your ongoing and continued support of SSCF. You're very valued here.
Thank you.
We also thought you might appreciate hearing about the value of the grants catalog and the South Saskatchewan Vital Community Fund from the perspective of an applicant and a grantee. And so I'm just so pleased to introduce Shauna Forbes to you. She is the co-chair of SCEP Center Society, and she's here to talk with us. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me all right? Yes, excellent. As I said, I'm in rural, so our internet is kind of sketchy from time to time, so I'll keep a close eye on that. But yes, thank you so much for inviting me to come and speak at this roundtable. I'm really honored by the opportunity. I'm not sure how much you know about SCEP Center, but SCEP Center is a therapeutic preschool program in the city of Regina that has been in operation since 1968. However, we're quite small, and so a lot of people don't know us. I know the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation knows us quite well, but we work with children between the ages of 2 and 5 with severe communication and behavior challenges. Some of our children are diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome, ADHD, global developmental delays, autism, but others come with an immense trauma in their background resulting from environmental factors. So a lot of them have been in the foster care system for a long time with multiple moves. They've experienced domestic violence, poverty, homelessness, intergenerational trauma, abuse, neglect. And so we work with those children and families and try to get them on their path to healing and help them prepare to be ready for school once that comes. Again, they're little ones between the ages of 2 and 5. We're a nonprofit charity, as Karen mentioned, and so sustainable funding is really difficult for us to attain in any given year. SCEP doesn't fall under any government umbrella per se. We're a little bit social services, a little bit mental health, and a little bit education, but we don't have a large block funding of sustainable funding. So we rely heavily on all the grants that are available every year. And that being said, I'm again very honored to talk about this. The Smart and Caring Fund, that is now known as the Vital Community Fund, has done so much for our little program in the past. We've applied for several grants over the years to help us with our special projects. But the ones that I want to talk to you about today are the last two, the most recent two, because I think they're quite impactful and very timely in what's going on in the community and in the province and in the nation. We've applied most recently to the Smart and Caring Fund for a Truth and Reconciliation and Cultural Inclusion grant for our little ones. Approximately 60 to 80% of our children are Indigenous or Métis, and another 10 to 20% in any given year are from newcomer families, often refugee families, families that are new to Canada, and needing some support for their little ones before they head off into school. Again, those children having experienced a lot of trauma in their lives as well. So we wanted to use the grant to make our preschool environment more culturally inclusive, to surround the children with things that will help them feel comfort. And for the Indigenous children, we used it to purchase culturally significant ceremonial items like drums and jingle dresses and ribbon skirts and shirts for the girls and boys, but also toys and books that where the subjects of those toys and books and games looked more like the children. And in terms of the newcomer families, we purchased a lot of ethnic foods and again, more ethnically inclusive toys and games and things. And it's just been remarkable to see how that has changed the interactions in the room. Again, even with these little 2 to 5 year olds, I'm not in the rooms a lot anymore. I was for about 20 years, but I'm a director now. But even in my short time when I'm in the rooms, I hear them just talking about their experiences and their cultures a little bit more. I've heard a little girl say, "Hey, that dolly looks like me," when it has dark skin and dark hair rather than looking more like me, a Caucasian lady. Or I've heard them talk about those ethnic foods. "Hey, my grandma makes that," when it's a more ethnic dish that they see. So I think it's just so enriching to the program that we already think is pretty great, but having those cultural resources around, I think is, again, we strive to have an environment that feels really safe and comfortable and welcoming to the children. So I think having them surrounded with things that make them feel like they belong is really, really important. So I want to thank the Smart and Caring Fund for allowing us to do that. And with that being said, I did want to speak to the fact that the grant amount is being increased to $5,000. We've applied for the grant twice, and I said to Victor the other day, I could probably apply 10 more times because, again, those resources that we've found aren't easy to find. You can't find culturally relevant things very easily. And so they're a little bit more expensive. We source them from local vendors or have to get them from far away. So having a bit more money would have helped us to cross off a few more of those wishes off our list. And so we're excited about the opportunity to be able to do that for these kinds of grants, but we have other needs as well that I'm looking forward to applying for. Again, I do want to talk about the grant catalog as well and what that will mean for a nonprofit agency such as SCEP. I think, as I mentioned, or maybe as you've gathered, a lot of our families and children are in crisis a lot. And so that emergent need tagline, I think, is so vastly important because our needs don't come when the deadlines are. Unfortunately, they're, quite inconveniently come after the deadline, let's say. So having that emergent need fund there, I think, will help us be able to manage those needs of food security, perhaps, or helping a family that are homeless and needing to recoup some of their possessions or things like that. I think having that emergent need will be huge. And as Donna mentioned, it'll be so incredible to have a place to put a capital campaign. Our families find ourselves in crisis a lot, but now we as an agency find ourselves in a bit of a crisis on the horizon. We have been housed in the Regina Public Schools for about 40-something years and have recently been asked to move out of their space. So we are having to launch a capital campaign and have gathered a housing committee to do so. And so we're ready to launch that. And so knowing that we have a place in the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation that we feel comfortable with, the ladies and gentlemen on the screen have been so helpful in conversations around this capital campaign and around our needs in general. And so again, I think it's just going to be vastly important for us as well as other agencies with these high needs. I told Victor I'm a talker. I could probably talk for another 20 minutes, but I was kind of given a 5-minute time limit. So again, I just want to say that I'm incredibly grateful for the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation, for all of you that are here on the screen. I know I've talked to each of you many, many times over the last few years. And I also want to thank the donors, because again, I think you maybe don't get to hear as much how it really impacts the young children and families that we work with. I get emotional about it because they're very important. And so I just think the impact is felt. It's felt by all of us, as well as the children and families that we serve. So again, I just want to thank you all for the opportunity and for the donations that you've made. And I really am feeling an honor to be with you today. And I'll stop now.
Shauna, thank you so much for helping us today and for sharing. That was just so heartfelt. Really appreciated. It's also really good to learn more about SCEP and its important work with preschool children. So thanks again.
Thanks, Karen.